Just begin by understanding a fundamental truth. Your feelings are not a reaction to the world around you, but rather they are the cause of the world you experience. This may sound strange to those of you who have been taught that your emotions are simply responses to external events, but I tell you, it is the other way around. Your emotions, your inner states, are the very substance from which your external reality is formed. Think of it this way. The world you see around you is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner state of being. Just as a projector casts images onto a screen, your consciousness projects your inner states onto the screen of space and time. And just as changing the film on a projector changes the images on the screen, changing your inner state changes the world you experience. Now, you might be thinking, but Wayne, surely you can't deny the reality of the challenges. I am facing, how can I feel good when I've lost my job, or when I'm facing a serious illness, or when my relationships are in turmoil? And to this I ask you to deny the existence of your current circumstances. I ask you to deny their power over your inner state. You see, your circumstances, no matter how dire they may seem, have no inherent power to make you feel anything. Your feelings are not determined by what happens to you, but by your interpretation of what happens. And this interpretation, this meaning you give to events, is entirely within your control. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Imagine two people who have just lost their jobs. One falls into despair, feeling hopeless and defeated. The other feels excited, seeing this as an opportunity for a new beginning, a chance to pursue a long-held dream. Same external event, vastly different emotional responses. What makes the difference? It's not the event itself, but the meaning each person assigns to it. Now you might be thinking, but surely some events are inherently negative. Surely some circumstances are objectively bad. And to this I say, there is no objective reality outside of your consciousness. What you call reality is simply a reflection of your assumptions, your beliefs, your habitual thought patterns. This is not to say that challenging circumstances don't exist. They do. But their power to affect your emotional state is entirely dependent on your choice to give them that power. You always have the ability to choose your response, to choose how you will feel, regardless of external conditions. But why is this so important? Why should you strive to feel good when everything seems to be going wrong? The answer lies in the creative power of your emotions. Your feelings are not just responses to your world, they are the very substance from which your world is created. When you consistently feel good, when you maintain a positive emotional state, regardless of external circumstances, you are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. You're tuning your consciousness to the frequency of your desires rather than the frequency of your current circumstances. Think of it like this. Emotions are like a radio tuner. When you feel negative emotions, fear, anxiety, despair, you're tuning into the frequency of lack, of limitation, of things going wrong. But when you choose to feel good, to feel positive emotions, regardless of circumstances, you're tuning into the frequency of abundance, of possibility, of things going right. And here's the game. The universe can only give you more of what you're tuned into. If you're tuned into the frequency of lack and limitation, that's what you'll continue to experience. But if you tune into the frequency of abundance and possibility, that's what will begin to manifest in your life. This is why it's so crucial to remember to feel good, especially when everything else seems to be going wrong. Because in those moments when it's most challenging to feel good, that's when it's most important. That's when you have the greatest opportunity to shift your reality. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Wayne, isn't this just positive thinking? Isn't this just putting on a happy face and pretending everything is fine when it's not? And to this I say, this is not about pretending or faking positive emotions. This is about understanding the true nature of reality and your role as a creator. You see, when you truly understand that your inner state is the cause, not the effect of your external reality, feeling good becomes the most logical, the most practical thing you can do. It's not about ignoring problems or pretending they don't exist. It's about recognizing that the solution to any problem, the path to any desire. Let me give you another example to illustrate this point. Imagine you're in a dark room fumbling around trying to find the light switch. The longer you fumble in the dark, the more frustrated you become. The more things you bump into, the more chaos you create. But the moment you find the switch and turn on the light, everything changes. Suddenly, you can see clearly. You can navigate easily. You can put everything in order. Your emotional state is like that light switch. When you're in a negative emotional state, you're fumbling in the dark. You can't see solutions. You can't find opportunities. You create more chaos and confusion. But when you shift to a positive emotional state, when you remember to feel good, it's like turning on the light. Suddenly, you can see clearly. Solutions become apparent. Opportunities reveal themselves. Order replaces chaos. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, but Wayne, how can I possibly feel good when I'm in the midst of real problems, real challenges? And this is a valid question. It's easy to feel good when everything is going well. The real test, the real opportunity for growth and transformation comes when you can maintain a positive emotional state in the face of adversity. So how do you do this? How do you remember to feel good when everything else seems to be going wrong? The key lies in your imagination. Your imagination is the most powerful tool you possess. It is, in fact, the very workshop in which you create your reality. When circumstances seem dire, when problems seem insurmountable, that is the moment to turn to your imagination. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine a reality where your problems are solved, where your desires are fulfilled. Feel the relief, the joy, the excitement of that reality. Let those feelings fill your entire being. Now, some of you might be thinking, but isn't this just fantasy? Isn't this just escapism? And to this, I say, your imagination is not a place to escape reality. Your imagination is the very place where reality is created. You see, what you imagine with feeling, what you experience vividly in your mind's eye, is not separate from reality. It is reality in its nascent state. It is reality, not yet manifested in the world of physical senses, but no less real for that. In fact, it is more real because it is the cause of which your physical reality is merely this. When you imagine a better reality, when you feel the emotions associated with that reality, you are not engaging in idle fantasy. You are engaging in the most powerful, the most practical act of creation. You are impressing upon your subconscious mind the reality you wish to experience, and your subconscious mind, which knows no difference between what is vividly imagined and what is physically experienced, begins immediately to bring about the conditions and circumstances that match your imagined reality. This is why it's so crucial to remember to feel good, especially when external circumstances seem to be at their worst. Because in those moments when you choose to feel good despite appearances, you are exercising your true power as a creator. You are asserting your dominion over your reality. Now let's address another common concern. Some of you might be thinking, but Wayne, if I feel good when things are going wrong, aren't I just deluding myself? Aren't I ignoring reality? And to this I sigh. What is reality? Is it only what your physical senses show you at this moment? Or is it the infinite field of possibilities that exists in your imagination? You see, what you call reality is simply the outpicturing of past thoughts and feelings. It's the harvest of seeds you've planted in the past. But at any moment, you have the power to plant new seeds, to imagine and feel a new reality into existence. This doesn't mean you ignore your current circumstances or act irresponsibly. It means you acknowledge your present situation while simultaneously holding in your mind and heart the reality you wish to experience. You live in two worlds at once, the world of physical senses and the world of imagination, knowing that the latter will eventually replace the former. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Suppose you are currently struggling financially. You wouldn't ignore your bills or pretend your debts don't exist. You would continue to manage your current finances responsibly, but at the same time, you would live from the state of financial abundance in your imagination. You would feel the relief of having all your debts paid. You would experience the joy of having more than enough money for all your needs and desires. You would feel the security of an abundant bank account, and you would carry these feelings with you throughout your day, even as you're dealing with your current financial situation. This is what it means to remember to feel good when everything else is going wrong. It's about holding two realities in your mind simultaneously while emotionally residing in the reality you desire to experience. Now, some of you might be wondering, but how long would it take for my imagined reality to manifest? How long do I need to maintain these good feelings before I see results? And to this I say, time is a construct of the human mind. In the realm of pure consciousness, where all creation takes place, there is no time. Your desire is fulfilled the moment you assume it to be so. The time it takes to appear in your physical reality depends on many factors, including the naturalness of the desire, your ability to maintain your assumption, and the current conditions of your mind. But here's the key. Don't concern yourself with the when or the how. Your job is simply to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and to live from that state. The universe will take care of the details. Trust the process. Know that what you have assumed must come to pass by universal law. Remember, creation is finished. All possible realities already exist. When you assume a new state, when you choose to feel good despite challenging circumstances, you're not creating something new. You're simply selecting a different reality from the infinite array of possibilities that already exist. You're tuning your consciousness to a different frequency, so to speak, and thus experiencing a different version of reality. This understanding should free you from anxiety and impatience. There's no need to worry about whether your desire will manifest. It must, for it already exists. Your only task is to align your consciousness with it through your assumption, through your choice to feel good regardless of external circumstances. Now let's talk about an aspect of this principle that many people overlook. When you truly understand that you always get what you want, that the universe is constantly responding to your assumptions and delivering experiences that match them, how can you not feel profound gratitude? Gratitude is not just a pleasant emotion. It's a powerful creative force. When you feel grateful, you're affirming that you already have what you desire. You're living from the state of fulfillment, of abundance, of your wish realized. And in doing so, you're aligning yourself even more powerfully with that reality. So cultivate an attitude of gratitude, especially when circumstances seem challenging. Be thankful not just for what you already have in your physical reality, but for what you've assumed in your imagination. Feel the gratitude of already being, doing, or having what you desire. This gratitude will transform your entire experience of life. You'll find yourself appreciating the present moment more fully. Even as you're assuming a different state, you'll see the beauty and perfection in all things, recognizing them as expressions of the same divine consciousness that you are. Now, I want to address something that often comes up as people begin to apply these principles. They start to wonder, if feeling good is so important, what if I can't maintain positive emotions all the time? What if I have moments of doubt, fear, or negativity? My friends, it's important to understand that the goal is not to never experience negative emotions. Negative emotions are a natural part of the human experience. The goal is to not dwell in these negative states, to not let them define your overall emotional climate. Think of it like the weather. Just as there will always be some cloudy or rainy days, there will always be some moments of doubt or fear. But just as a few cloudy days don't define the overall climate, a few moments of negativity don't define your overall emotional state. The key is to not resist these negative emotions when they arise, but to acknowledge them, accept them, and then choose to shift back to a positive state. Remember, you always have the power to choose your emotional state, regardless of circumstances. One powerful way to shift your emotional state is through the use of affirmations, but not just any affirmations, affirmations that you feel to be true. You see, the power of an affirmation lies not in the words themselves, but in the feeling behind the words. For example, if you're facing financial difficulties, simply repeating, "I am wealthy," might feel false and create inner conflict. Instead, you might affirm, "I am open to financial abundance," or "money flows to me easily and frequently." It's affirmations that feel true to you that create a sense of possibility and excitement when you say. Another powerful technique for maintaining a positive emotional state is visualization. Spend time each day visualizing your desired reality in vivid detail. See it, hear it, feel it, taste it, smell it. Make it as real as possible in your imagination. As you do this, pay attention to the feelings that arise. Let yourself fully experience the joy, the excitement, the relief of having your desire fulfilled. These feelings are the bridge between your current reality and your desired reality. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Wayne, what about action? Don't we need to do something to bring about the changes we desire? And to this I say, of course, action is important, but it's not the kind of action most people think of. You see, most people believe they need to take action to make things happen. They believe they need to struggle, to strive, to force things into being. But this kind of action often comes from a place of lack of fear of trying to fix something that's perceived as wrong. The kind of action I'm talking about is inspired action. It's action that flows naturally from your assumed state. When you're consistently feeling good, when you're living from the state of your wish, fulfilled, you'll find yourself naturally taking actions that align with that state. These actions won't feel like struggle or effort. They'll feel natural, effortless, even joyful. You'll find opportunities presenting themselves to you. You'll have intuitive flashes of insight. You'll be in the right place at the right time. This is because when you're in alignment with your desire, when you're feeling good despite challenging circumstances, you're in harmony with the creative power of the universe. You're allowing that power to work through you, guiding your actions and orchestrating events in ways that you could never plan or force. Now let's address another common concern. Some of you might be thinking, but Wayne, what about other people? What if my ability to feel good is dependent on how others treat me or what they do? And to this I say, no one and nothing outside of you has the power to determine your emotional state. You see, other people, like everything else in your reality, are simply playing the parts that you have assigned to them through your assumptions. If you assume that your happiness depends on others, then that will be your experience. But if you assume that your emotional state is entirely within your control, then that will be your reality. This doesn't mean you become indifferent to others or that you don't care about your relationships. It means you take responsibility for your own emotional state, regardless of how others behave. It means you choose to feel good to maintain a positive emotional state, regardless of what others say or do. And here's the beautiful thing. When you do this, when you maintain your positive state, regardless of others' behavior, you'll find that others begin to reflect that state back to you. Remember, the outer world is always a reflection of your inner state as you change. Your experience of others will change too. Now let's talk about persistence. Remembering to feel good when everything seems to be going wrong is not always easy. It requires persistence, practice, and patience. There will be times when you slip back into old patterns of thought and emotion. There will be times when circumstances seem so challenging that it feels impossible to maintain a positive state. It's not about being perfect. It's about consistently returning to your desired state no matter how many times you slip. It's about making the choice again and again to feel good despite appearances. Think of it like learning to play a musical instrument. At first it feels awkward. You make mistakes. It doesn't sound good. But with persistent practice, it becomes more natural. The movements become fluid. The music begins to flow. And one day you realize you're playing beautifully without even thinking about it. The same is true with maintaining a positive emotional state. At first, it might feel forced or unnatural. You might find yourself slipping back into negative states frequently. But with persistent practice, it becomes easier. It becomes more natural. And eventually, it becomes your default state. Now, I want to address something that often comes up as people begin to apply these principles. They start to worry about being selfish or uncaring if they focus on feeling good when others around them are struggling. But I assure you, maintaining your positive state is the most loving, the most compassionate thing you can do. You see, when you choose to feel good regardless of circumstances, you become a beacon of light in a world that often seems dark. You become a living example of the power of consciousness to transform reality. You inspire others, not through preaching or lecturing, but through your very being. Moreover, when you maintain a positive state, you're in a much better position to help others. Think about it. Can a drowning person save another drowning person? You need to be standing on solid ground, or better yet, in a boat to be able to throw a lifeline to someone who's struggling. In the same way, when you're mired in negative emotions, when you're overwhelmed by challenging circumstances, you're in no position to truly help others. But when you're grounded in a positive state, when you're living from the state of your wish fulfilled, you have the stability, the clarity, and the resources to make a real difference in others' lives. Remember, too, that your state of consciousness affects not just your own experience, but the collective consciousness of humanity. Every time you choose to feel good despite challenging circumstances, you're elevating the entire human family. You're adding your light to the sum of light, making it easier for others to find their way out of darkness. As we come to the close of our discussion, I want to leave you with this final thought. Remembering to feel good when everything else is going wrong is not just a technique for manifesting your desires. It's a way of life. It's a recognition of your true nature as a divine being, as a creator of your reality. When you consistently choose to feel good, regardless of external circumstances, you're declaring your independence from the world of effects. You're asserting your true power as a cause. You're aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe itself. This is the great secret, the great truth that all the mystics and sages throughout history have pointed to. Your emotional state, your inner world, is the source of your entire life experience. As you master your inner world, as you learn to consistently feel good despite appearances, you become the master of your destiny. My dear friends, I urge you, remember to feel good, especially when everything else seems to be going wrong. For in those moments when it's most challenging to maintain a positive state, that's when it's most crucial. That's when you have the greatest opportunity to transform your life and to contribute to transformation in our world. Go forth now, armed with this knowledge, and put it into practice. Choose to feel good no matter what. Live from the state of your wish fulfilled, and watch as the world around you transforms to match your inner state, for this is the true art of living, the true science of creation. This is your birthright as a divine being. Claim it. Live it. Let me tell you a profound truth that will change your life forever. The power that you seek, the power to manifest even the impossible, lies dormant within you at this very moment. You are that power. You are the operant power. You are God in the most profound sense, temporarily occupying a garment of flesh. I say to you now, for just 1 minute, one single minute of your time, you can set in motion forces so magnificent that they will reshape your entire world. For consciousness is the only reality, and in that 1 minute of focused consciousness, you can plant a seed that must, by divine law, come to harvest. Tonight I share with you not theory but law, immutable, unchangeable law. The law states that your consciousness, your feeling, your assumption is the only reality. What you feel as true, what you accept as real in that 1 minute of focused attention, becomes the blueprint that the whole vast world must follow. Consider this: when you go to sleep tonight, enter into that 1 minute with complete surrender to your desire fulfilled. Feel it as real, feel it as present, feel it as now. For the feeling is the secret, and that 1 minute of reality of your desire is more powerful than 1,000 minutes of yearning or wanting. Let me share with you what I mean. Suppose you desire wealth beyond measure. In that 1 minute, you must feel the weight of that wealth, the satisfaction of that abundance, the joy of that prosperity as if it were already yours. You must enter into the state of the wish fulfilled so completely that when you open your eyes, the outer world seems pale in comparison to what you have just experienced. The outer world you see is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of past assumptions. But in that one sacred minute, you have the power to change every assumption, to rewrite every belief, to transform every aspect of your life. The whole vast world will reshape itself to match your new assumption, for this is law. I tell you, time is nothing to your subconscious mind. What you impress upon it in that 1 minute of focused feeling will work day and night to externalize itself in your world. This is why Scripture tells us in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, we shall all be changed. That moment is the moment of assumption. You need not concern yourself with the how. The how is not your part in this divine drama. Your role is simply to occupy the state of consciousness, of the wish fulfilled for that 1 minute, with such intensity, such conviction, that you can say with absolute certainty, it is done. I remember a lady who came to me in dire circumstances. She had not a penny to her name, and creditors were at her door. I told her to take 1 minute, just 1 minute, before sleep, and feel the joy, the relief, the absolute knowing of having more than enough. She did this faithfully, and within weeks, through channels she could never have imagined, abundance flowed into her life from every direction. You see, the outer world must conform to your inner assumptions. It has no choice in the matter, just as the fruit must grow from the seed. Your outer world must grow from the seed of your assumption, and that seed planted in 1 minute of focused feeling contains within it all that is necessary for its own fulfillment. Let me tell you something of profound importance. When you enter into that 1 minute of consciousness, you must do so with the knowledge that you are entering the most holy of holies. You are entering into the very source of creation itself. For your consciousness, your I am is God himself. And there is no other power to create or to destroy. Think of it this way. If you were to witness a miracle this very moment, what would you feel? How would your body respond? What thoughts would flow through your mind? That is exactly how you must feel in your 1 minute of focused consciousness. You must feel the naturalness, the reality, the absolute certainty of your desire fulfilled. The reason most people fail in their manifestations is that they treat their imaginal acts as something unreal, something separate from themselves. But I tell you now, your imaginal acts are more real than the world of Caesar, for they are the very substance from which all reality springs. In that 1 minute, you must abandon yourself completely to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. If you desire perfect health, feel the freedom and vitality in every cell of your body. If you desire a specific position, feel the satisfaction and responsibility of that position. If you desire a particular relationship, feel the love and connection as if it were already yours. The secret lies in the intensity of your feeling, the completeness of your absorption in the state desire. Fulfilling is the secret. And in that 1 minute of focused feeling, you are literally molding the substance of the universe according to your desire. Remember the words of Scripture, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This transformation takes place in consciousness first. And that 1 minute of transformation in consciousness will work its magic until the outer world reflects perfectly what you have impressed upon your subconscious mind. Do not make the mistake of thinking that 1 minute is too short a time to manifest the impossible. Time is only a concept of the outer world. In the realm of consciousness, in the realm of the subconscious mind, 1 minute of complete absorption in the feeling of the wish fulfilled is equal to an eternity. Let me tell you what most of humanity has forgotten. In your imagination, which is your own wonderful human consciousness, you can in 1 minute live an entire lifetime. You can compress time to such a degree that 1,000 years become as 1 day in your consciousness. This is the mystery that the ancient mystics knew. When I tell you to take 1 minute, I am speaking of a minute pregnant with infinite possibility. For in that minute, when properly used, you transcend all limitations of time and space. You enter into the eternal now, where all things are possible and all realities exist simultaneously. Consider this: every moment of your life, you are manifesting. Every single moment you are creating through your assumptions. But most of these moments are spent unconsciously accepting the limitations of your current reality. What I am giving you now is the secret of conscious creation. Deliberate manifestation through that one focused minute. Let me share with you an absolute principle. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret of creation. Not the wish, not the want, not the desire, but the feeling of already having what for you desire. In that 1 minute, you must generate this feeling with such intensity that it crowds out all other thoughts and feelings. When you close your eyes tonight, when you enter into that 1 minute of focused consciousness, you must feel with every fiber of your being that you are now the person you desire to be. You must feel the reality of it so intensely that when you open your eyes, the physical world seems like the dream, and what you have just experienced in imagination seems like the reality. I tell you, and I tell you with absolute certainty, that your three-dimensional world is nothing more than the outpicturing of your assumptions. The whole vast world is yourself pushed out. Therefore, in that 1 minute, you are literally rearranging the entire universe according to your assumption. What would you feel like if you were now the person you desire to be? What would you experience? How would your friends address you? What conversations would you have? These are not idle questions. They are the very substance of creation. For in that 1 minute, as you feel these things as real, you are creating them in the only place they can be created, in consciousness. Remember the words I share with you now? Your consciousness is God. Your I am is the creator of all that appears in your world. Therefore, when you enter into that 1 minute of focused feeling, you are entering into the very creative substance of the universe. You are entering into God himself. I have tested this law countless times, and I tell you now, it never fails. A lady once came to me in tears, her child desperately ill. I told her to take 1 minute before sleep and feel the joy, the relief, the gratitude of seeing her, a child in perfect health. She did this faithfully, and within days, her child made a recovery that the doctors could not explain. You see, the outer world has no choice but to conform to your inner assumptions. This is law. Just as an apple seed must produce an apple tree, your assumption must produce its physical equivalent. And in that 1 minute of focused feeling, you are planting the seed that must come to harvest. Let me tell you of the power that lies within that 1 minute. When you enter into it, you must do so with the knowledge that you are entering into the most sacred of activities. You are literally exercising your divine right as a created being. You are doing the work that you were created to do. Do not make the mistake of thinking that this is mere positive thinking or auto-suggestion. What I am giving you is the very principle of creation itself. It is the same principle that created the stars and the planets, that maintains the order of the universe. It is the principle that Scripture refers to when it says, "Let there be light." In that 1 minute, you must let there be that which you desire to experience. You must feel it with such completion, such totality, that you can say with absolute conviction, it is finished. But when you can feel this, when you can experience this with your whole being, the thing is done. And all the forces of the universe move to bring about its physical manifestation. Think of it this way. Everything you now accept as real was once only imagined. Your current circumstances, your present relationships, your existing conditions, all were first imagined before they became fact. Therefore, in that 1 minute, you are engaging in the most natural and most powerful of all human activities, the act of conscious creation through imagination. I tell you now with absolute authority that if you understand and apply what I am sharing with you in this moment, nothing will be impossible for you. For the one who knows how to use that, the single minute of consciousness holds within their hands the key to all creation. Consider the words of Scripture before they call, "I will answer." This is not some distant God responding to prayer. This is the law of consciousness in operation. When you enter that 1 minute with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you have already created it. The answer precedes the call, because in consciousness, where all creation takes place, you have already received. Let me share with you a profound truth that few understand. In your imagination, there is no limitation of time or space. You can traverse 1,000,000 years in a single second of consciousness. You can experience the end before the beginning. This is why that 1 minute properly used can reshape your entire existence. When you lie down tonight, when you enter into that sacred minute of communion with your own wonderful human imagination, you must do so with the knowledge that you are entering the realm of cause. The three-dimensional world you see around you is merely effect. It must by eternal law conform to what you establish in consciousness. I tell you now, do not waste that minute wondering how your desire will be fulfilled. The how is not your concern. Your only responsibility is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled with such intensity, such conviction that you can feel the naturalness of it, feel the solidity of it, feel the reality of it. Imagine if you desire perfect health in that 1 minute. You must feel the vitality coursing through your veins. Feel the strength in your limbs. Feel the perfect functioning of every organ, every cell. Feel the joy of moving with. Complete freedom and vigor. Feel the naturalness of perfect health so completely that you cannot remember what it felt like to be otherwise. If it is wealth you desire, in that 1 minute you must feel the abundance surrounding you. Feel the security of substantial wealth. Feel the freedom it brings. Feel the joy of helping others. Feel the naturalness of having more than enough. Feel it so completely that you cannot remember what lack feels like. You see, your subconscious mind knows no difference between what you imagine with feeling and what you experience in the outer world. To your subconscious mind, they are one and the same. Therefore, what you impress upon it in that focused minute of consciousness must externalize itself in your world. Let me tell you of a principle that never fails. The intensity of your feeling determines the speed of its manifestation. When you enter that 1 minute of focused consciousness, you must abandon yourself completely to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Let no doubt enter. Let no contrary thought disturb your assumption. Remember this, your consciousness is the only reality. Everything you now consider real was first only imagined. The chair you sit on, the clothes you wear, the building you live in, all were first only imagined before they became fact. Therefore, what you imagine with feeling in that 1 minute is as real as anything you now consider real. I share with you now a secret of manifestation that few understand. When you enter that 1 minute of consciousness, you must do so from the end. Live in the end. Experience the completion, the fulfillment, the attainment of your desire. For when you experience the end in consciousness, all the steps necessary for its achievement must unfold naturally. Think of it this way. If you were to receive news right now that your desire had been fulfilled, what would you feel? How would your body respond? What thoughts would flow through your mind? That is exactly how you must feel in your 1 minute of focused consciousness. You must generate those exact feelings, those exact sensations. Do not make the mistake of thinking that this is merely daydreaming or fantasizing. What I am giving you is the very principle by which the universe operates. It is the principle of assumption, and it never fails. What you assume to be true, what you feel to be real in consciousness, must externalize itself in your world. Let me share with you a profound truth that will revolutionize your understanding of manifestation. In that 1 minute of focused consciousness, you are literally rearranging the entire universe. For consciousness is the only reality, and what you establish there must, by eternal law, manifest in your world. I tell you from my own experience time after time that this law is as exact as mathematics. Just as 2 + 2 must equal 4, what you feel as real in consciousness must externalize itself in your world. This is not theory. This is law, and it operates with mathematical precision. When you enter into that 1 minute tonight, you must do so with the knowledge that you are entering into the very substance of creation. Your consciousness, your I am, is God Himself in operation. Therefore, whatever you accept as true in that state of consciousness has no choice but to externalize itself. Consider this. Every moment of your life, you are manifesting. Every single thought, accompanied by feeling, is creating your future. But when you take that 1 minute and consciously direct it, when you deliberately assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, You are exercising your divine creative power at its highest level. Let me tell you something remarkable about your imagination. In it, there is no such thing as impossibility. In that 1 minute of focused consciousness, you can be, do, or have anything you desire. The limitations of time, space, and circumstance do not exist in imagination. They are only beliefs we accept in our outer world. When you lie down tonight, when you enter into that sacred minute of communion, with your own wonderful human imagination, you must feel with every fiber of your being that your desire is already fulfilled. Feel the joy of it. Feel the reality of it. Feel the naturalness of it. If you desire a particular position or achievement, in that 1 minute you must feel the satisfaction of already having achieved it. Feel the respect it brings. Feel the responsibility it carries. Feel the natural pride in your accomplishment. Feel it so completely that you cannot remember what it felt. Like to desire it. You see, the secret lies in the feeling. Feeling is the secret. It is not enough to merely visualize or think about your desire. You must feel it as real. You must generate the feeling that would be yours if your desire were already a fact in the outer world. Let me tell you something about the nature of consciousness that few understand. Your consciousness is not confined to your physical body. It extends throughout the universe. Therefore, when you assume a state in consciousness, you are literally rearranging the entire universe to match your assumption. I share with you now a principle that has transformed countless lives. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret of creation. Not the wishing, not the hoping, not the wanting, but the feeling of already having what you desire. This is the secret that all the great ones of history have known. Remember this, your outer world is nothing more than your inner world objectified. Everything you now see and experience was first only imagined. Therefore, what you feel as real in that 1 minute of focused consciousness must by law become real in your outer world. Think of the power that lies within that 1 minute. In it, you can transcend all limitations. In it, you can rewrite your entire life story. In it, you can plant a seed that must, by divine law, come to harvest. For consciousness is the only reality, and what you establish there is more real than anything in the outer world. Do not let anyone tell you that this is mere positive thinking or wishful dreaming. What I am giving you is the very principle by which the universe operates. It is the same principle that keeps the stars in their courses, that maintains the order of creation. It is the principle of conscious assumption. Let me tell you the final and most crucial truth about this 1 minute that can transform your entire existence. When you feel the reality of desire so intensely that your whole being vibrates with its truth, you have planted a seed in the fertile soil of infinite possibility that must come to harvest. Do you know why most people fail in their manifestations? They treat their imaginal acts as something unreal, something separate from life itself. But I tell you now, your imaginal acts in that 1 minute are more real than the world you see around you. For they are the very substance from which all reality springs. Think of this, every invention, every discovery, every achievement in human history began in someone's imagination. Everything that now exists in your world was once only imagined. Therefore, what you imagine with feeling in that 1 minute has a divine right to manifest for this, is the way of creation itself. I tell you with absolute certainty that if you will faithfully apply this law, if you will enter into that 1 minute each night feeling the reality of your desire fulfilled, your whole world must reshape itself to match your assumption. This is not hope, this is law. Remember these final words I share with you now. You are not some tiny being struggling against the world. You are the operant power. You are the creator of your reality. That 1 minute of focused consciousness, properly used, contains within it the power to reshape universes. Tonight, when you enter into that 1 minute, do so with the knowledge that you are entering into the most holy of holies. Feel the reality of your desire with such intensity that when you open your eyes, the physical world seems pale in comparison to what you have just experienced. For in that 1 minute, properly used, even the impossible must yield to your assumption. The whole vast world will conspire to make your assumption a reality. For this is the eternal law of consciousness. What you feel is real in consciousness must externalize itself in your world. I leave you with this final truth. The power is within you. The kingdom is within you. That 1 minute of focused consciousness, used with understanding and feeling, is more powerful than 1,000 years of toil. For in that minute you are exercising your divine right as a creative being. Go forth now with this knowledge. Apply this law. Test it. Prove it in the laboratory of your own life. For I tell you with absolute authority that even impossible will manifest for you. When you understand, apply the power of that 1 minute of focused consciousness. Let this be your practice from this moment forward. Enter that 1 minute with complete faith, with absolute conviction, with the feeling of your desire fulfilled. For when you do this, you are doing the work you were created to do. You are consciously creating your reality through the power of your own wonderful human imagination. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. Therefore, in that 1 minute, you are literally rearranging the entire universe according to your assumption. There is no power outside of you that can withstand what you establish in consciousness. For consciousness is the only reality, and you are that consciousness. And now, knowing this truth, understanding this law, go forth and create the life you desire. For you hold within you, in that 1 minute of focused consciousness, the power to manifest even the impossible. This is the truth. This is the law. This is your divine inheritance. The end is where we begin. The completion is where we start. Therefore, enter into that 1 minute from the end, living in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. For when you do this, you are operating in accordance with the highest law of creation, and nothing can prevent your assumption from becoming your reality. So I say to you, finally, take this minute, use it wisely. Fill it with the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and watch as the self restates itself to match what you have established in consciousness. For this is the way of creation. This is the law of assumption. And this is your power as a divine created being.